Okay, so next we're gonna do our standard brow. Now the standard brow has two transitions, right? It has a transition right after our bulb where the hair starts to point down, and we have a transition right at our arch where the hair needs to come back out. If we keep the hair coming down, it's gonna turn into an Asian brow, or you're gonna herringbone at the end. So I'm gonna draw our stencil, our outline for the standard brow. This is what you should have done after your first pass. Okay, so again, we're gonna place down nice and flat. The bulb here, this is where I want my students to get creative. This is what's gonna separate them from other people. So just because on latex, I do 3 strokes that start straight up and then I start to lay them down, don't think that's what you have to do at home or even on your own. As long as you follow the basic rules of not getting too close together and not crossing over, you've got some freedom with this bulb part. So our standard brow, we're gonna start to lay these over, right? Because the hair starts to kind of lay flat right away. Now, we have a problem. The hair is coming from sticking straight up to pointing down. How do we get our strokes to go down? Let me show you. We're gonna make one, almost like a rainbow, one long arch right underneath our dots, our stencil. And then I'm gonna come right above and come flat out. Now, I'm gonna stay on my stencil. Careful not to bring my strokes that are coming down too far down. I'm still hugging my line. Okay, I'm hugging my line, hugging my line, hugging my line. So my strokes, unlike the Asian pattern where on the Asian pattern, these are gonna come down further. On my standard pattern, I'm hugging my line so that when I get to my transition, which is right on the arch, when I get to my transition right here, I want it to be so smooth that you can't even tell I had a transition. So I'm gonna come right in between the ones I just did, and I'm gonna come right back out, okay? Now, I'm building the tail of my brow just as I built my European brow. So this right here is my top line. My bottom line is exactly like the European. So I'm coming up, I'm building this bulb. I'm either gonna attach to some of these or I'm gonna come right in between some of them, making sure this blade's always nice and flat, never tilted. Sometimes I like to do some long and short to just kind of give it a little bit of variation. But this is the stroke that I'm gonna do the entire base. Okay, I'm gonna build this just like this all the way over. So this is my stencil. Before I fill in the brow, this is my stencil. I'm actually pulling the opposite way of what I want you guys to pull because my hand gets in the way of the frame and I want you to see the placement of my blade. I want you to see how straight and how I keep it flat, okay? Do you see that? Nice and flat. So this right here is your stencil for the standard. I'm gonna finish these 2 right here. Don't mind my hand, hold on. Okay, so that is our stencil for the standard.